Hey, good afternoon, folks. We have been blessed with rainfall here in central Arkansas through the majority of our honey flow. Cora and I are out here today. We have managed to get supers on in front of the bees while they were building comb and putting up honey, and we've got all of our honey supers are out now, and I think we're somewhere around 30 to 35 colonies strong at this point. I think Cora's got about 7 herself, or 8. She said this afternoon we need to do a check on the honey and see how it's progressing in case we need to go ahead and get some pulled. I don't disagree. It's a beautiful day. We've had, like I was talking about the rain, we've had rainfall that has been intermittent during the nectar flow, and as most beekeepers know, that kind of hampers the ability of the bee to be out and working those nectar sources. So we don't know. We've added supers along as we go. As long as they were white waxing and filling comb, we were putting supers on. So we're going to do a little spot check down through here on some hives and take a look and see what they got going on. Give it a little rock from corner to corner. They got that one glued, don't they? This particular hive, this super was added towards the end of the nectar flow, so it would have been about a week before the persimmon flow shut down. I can feel they've got something waxed to something.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're lifting frames. Bring your frames loose. This one on this end. Okay, hold your tool in under it and I'll pull your lid up. A lot of propolis activity. See where they're building the propolis along tops of the frames and shutting down that. All right, now this was the last super added, and I had, these were drawn, these that say CC are cut comb, so that was just wax foundation, no wire. So you want to pull a couple of them and have a look at. The only part that concerns me is we may not have got them on in time to reap the benefits of them drawing comb. So just let's start with this one. Take it on up out of there. Be careful. Let's kind of see the white wax where they've added on. Yep. All right, you want me to hold that for you while you check a few?
Which ones do you want me to check?
Well, these are fresh. These was foundation. I can see bees and comb drawn. Just kind of scoot it over into that hole you've made. Yeah. Okay, well, they got the, all right, so this is just a shallow frame with cut comb foundation. They've pulled and they are filling and they are capping on this end. I'm going to say this was about, unfortunately, the tail end of where that real nice nectar flow was playing out. This was another cut comb. It looks like they're progressing with it about like, can you pull this one?
This one?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Looks like they got them combed. We'll see if they're gonna get enough honey to fill them. our nectar flow at this very minute. We're through the privet, we're through the persimmon. We are looking at the sumac potentially being the last real good run of nectar. So, you know, it's not that adding this box was in vain. This box is filled with bees. And with that, there's always a chance. You know, you add supers for two reasons: nectar flow and volume of bees. We had both when the supers went on. As you saw, they've got honey in that box, but they definitely were not in the nectar like they were when we added the first two, because they're filled, and actually the bees are capping it now. All right, Cora, you want to re-lid that one? They made you a box of honey. Well, it's amazing how quickly they hit them already combed. Now these were checkerboarded, so these were foundation. There's what a shallow frame of honey ought to look like.
Now is that plastic foundation?
This is the right cell shallow plastic foundation. And they drew that dude just straight as a string, wood to wood.
Is that yellow or black or white?
This was the yellow right cell. And every frame, can you kind of hold that one?
Yeah.
We'll go real quick here. Let's see, this was another one just like that. It's the same. Here's what they do with one when you give it back.
Like this was last year's?
This was last year's that we had harvested from, stored the comb, and came back with it. And as you can tell, they made hay with that one. They get right on those. And that one next to it is the same as the one that Cora's holding. So that's where your checkerboarding comes in. Comb, foundation, checkerboard. And as you can tell, this was a blank foundation between two combed out. So they've drawn it equally to the bee space between. And this one would have been another combed out. And there you can see the bees working through the queen excluders, and we do value and use the queen excluders.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now if I remember right, we checkerboarded in some cut comb in this box. I'm feeling a regret. I did something that I would not have typically done. If I remember right, we were a little bit busy and I was trying to beat a rain or a storm, and I didn't have time to put this super under a super, which is typically what I would have done to expedite what these bees have got going. It's kind of the same scenario. Cut comb is written on the CC is written on the tops of the frames. There's a frame of honey. All right, grab that. This was a cut comb, so it was dropped in with wax foundation only. And they built a and they're starting to cap it. I just, that's always a little bit concerning to you, as you beekeepers know. This is probably, they got it drawn, you know, you can tell where they're coming out with it, and then it just tapers off. When they run out of, they know they're running out of nectar to use as a resource to pull that comb, they start putting that nectar in the drawn comb that they already have, and they stop worrying about comb production. They start worrying about storage. There was a little honey there dripping. Now there's a, just to show, there's a good cut comb example that they're really working hard to finish, but, and maybe they will with that sumac bloom. But all that will be able to be, they'll pull the pins out of the end of the wax, and that'll make some nice comb to go in a jar. So it was a little bit late on what I wanted to do, but it looks like they'll pull off enough of it to do what I wanted. You know, like always, every beekeeper, we don't ever get as much as we'd like, but we'll get plenty. And they may, you know, here by the end of the month, they may go ahead and that may really look good. It may be finished. That old propolis is sticky, ain't it? This, I'm gonna show y'all this. This is a swarmed hive.
Is that the monster swarm?
No, this is a swarmed hive. Give them a little smoke. The last time when I added this super, it was going to be a toss-up. They had the bees, but the nectar was on the tail end. This was added before there was ample bees in here to fill a super and or progress. And as you can tell, it's checkerboarded, and I don't think they've done enough with it to say that it counts. About all they've done is protected my comb. Yep. Real super light comb started on that. The combs, they're all cleaned. That's about as far as they got cleaned and ready to go. So, you know, if we were still in a flow when I found this, I'd move this to a hive that needed a super. But there's no point in that right at the moment, because we're definitely not in a nectar flow that constitutes somebody else getting that. And it'll come off of them for treatment.
Don't fall there.
What's that? Armadillo hole. Well, you would expect big things out of this one, judging by the amount of bees, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
They definitely came up in this to work. Now, whether or not it looks like it's kind of the same deal as the next door neighbors. Apparently by the time population fills the honey super, well, then it's down to one thing. Is there still enough nectar out there to produce honey? See, they've got this frame filled and have not started capping. And it looks like, will you hold that please? It looks like they did pull some comb. I can tell by the weight. Yeah, very little. They just didn't get as far as the other ones did, due to the fact that the flow quit them. That was full, and they are starting to cap it. That side's about a third. I see one thing that does make me happy. I've seen maybe 2 beetles So our beetle populations that staying at bay, I think if I remember right, Cora, we've got traps below the excluders,
I
right?
think so.
You know, when these bees are in honey production, I tend to want to leave them alone, as so not to disrupt the flow of their work in progress.
This one's one of the heavier old ones.
Yeah. Where'd your smoker go?
It's right on that high. Are we good?
Yeah, cap them.
Now, Cora, these are all yours, right?
Cora's is always this hive. What is it? What do you call this one?
4 seasons.
4 seasons. All right. Cora's 4-season hive is always an overachiever.
These are the propolis.
Propolis queens, aren't they?
Yep.
Yep. There went the old wood roach. Remember now, always when you start up with your lid, you're doing great. When you start up with your lid, make sure you don't have frames coming up.
Kill that bug right there on the...
That cockroach. Smash him. All right.
Got him.
Got him. All right.
Okay, we're good.
Now what has your bunch done with the? Oh, I should have known. Now see,
Which one
this
you want me
was
to
the
pull?
super you added about the time I put those cut combs on, because they needed it, and we checkerboarded, and I'm looking, so it was comb, foundation, and comb. Look at it. It was already drawn, right? But it's full and capped now. Pull up. You got a lot of gap here. Pull that one. That was a brand new foundation. And once again, Cora and I just use shallow plastic foundation in our honey supers. Look at that. That's beautiful. Frame.
And that was a piece of foundation. That one was foundation,
plastic.
not comb,
Not cut comb. This is
but not drawn
Yeah,
out.
no
It
no
was
drawn
new.
out. Just foundation.
And the one next to it is
And the
comb
one
from
drawn
last year.
out was
Which one?
comb from last year. That one. Go ahead and
wait.
pull it. Yep. You know, if you haven't tried checkerboarding, and I understand if you don't have the comb to checkerboard with, you can't. So there's other alternatives to get them to do this. But you see, it is comb foundation, comb foundation. So I mean, they've did, Cora's bees have always did a spectacular job with their combing and capping, and you know, this super's ready. You know, the last
Heavy
frames
too.
we've been checking that you've seen are honestly, these are harvestable, ready frames of honey.
You don't put it back. Or checking anymore.
Nope, and we'll move the unit. Anytime you got pedestrians that won't move, just put them in the box.
Or do you have a name for this one, or is this one of the big monster swarms?
C4.
All right, this was the one after the big ginormous swarm with Queen's Golden Wild that Corinne filmed Cora and I with. This was the split. So you saw us separate the doubles. You heard the queen piping in this box. These bees, both boxes, are queen right. Populations built. Obviously, you can tell they exceeded their checkerboarded mids we added that day, and we added queen excluders and put on our honey supers. Now, as far as honey goes, I don't know what luck they've had with that.
You got it.
Cora's fixing to find out.
Doesn't look like food. done much.
Basically just looks like they clean frames, doesn't it?
Yeah. Go out here.
Nothing? Just they're just inhabiting a box, aren't they?
Yeah.
I can tell. You see the white wax patches?
Mhm.
That was the tail end of it.
They're light too.
Yep.
You want
This is where they've been up here with what little they've got left. That was the end of the flow, that they had put that sheen of white wax across that old comb. Well, you girls made some comb look really nice, but we'd a whole lot rather that had some honey in it. But you know, you got to keep space on them when it's early. That's an old comb there.
Yeah.
You got to keep space on them when it's early. You don't want to hold them congested, because you know, at the time that was added, they still could have got blown up with bees and congested and wanted to swarm. So like I said, you add supers in the event that things go better than you. Boy, she's made the bees.
And this was
it too little too late?
I think so. I think he's gonna.
What, Corinne? Well, they put honey in it because they're capping it. So this is the half of the split. And I'd say, due to the fact that this has a greater population of bees, is why they actually got some honey in their comb after they cleaned it up.
Let me check this thing right here.
You got another one you want to check? Okay. What do you think? Well, that one that was next to it, they got honey in it.
On top of this side.
That's where the weight's at, isn't it? That's got the majority of it. They come right up and started filling on there. We'll probably leave these
for winter.
supers through the sumac bloom, and it has started. And we'll see what they do with it. And if they don't do anything, they're going to cap what they got, and then that's going to be go time for us. So.
Here, take that.
See, that propyl's pushed up, mixed with a little bit of wax.
Look how dry that looks.
All right, find out what they got.
See some caps.
You know, you should never be dissatisfied about getting any form of a honey crop, because there's never a guarantee that you're going to. But you always want more. You always want it to be more. And the reality of it is, we can't predict what it's going to be. That's a nice frame.
That's a heavy frame.
Cora's got two.
Got it?
Oh yeah, that is a chunker there. All right, if you'll pull a couple frames, your bees are behaving. Pull a couple frames, hand me another one, and then Mama can get that phone stuck down in there where they can see that next honey super you got that's loaded.
You got it.
Now this was a fresh plastic shallow foundation. There's one they're still drawing comb on. Yep, got it drawn, and see what they're doing with the honey. They quit and started capping. Corinne, can you see? I can see the edges of the white cap down in below. Here's a good example too. People, we get questions about this, so let's clear something else up while I'm standing here. Can you hold two of these?
Can I put this one back?
Sure. Got it? Here's a little something to look at in the hive. You see this portion out here is a white, smooth, new cap. You see this portion, and all of a sudden you go from can't see a color to color coming through the cap, and you see almost these swirl designs in that cappings wax. What that is where these bees have spent hours walking on top of this, doing work on that foundation.
That one goes over.
And let me hold 1 minute. So what happens is, while that wax is so soft and warm, they actually change that structuring of those perfect caps, and you get all this swirl strictly from them spending time out here on the comb.
Like that wax touches it and gets wet, kind of like
That's
a paper towel.
Right. Now you see here, they're capping, coming out, capping, and you see they're not out here spending a lot of time, and you see it more perfect capped cells that haven't got distorted and blended. Am I right, or I need to move one over?
Nope, that one's nope.
Nope, leave it?
Yep.
All right. All in all, she's nearly got she's got 80% there.
Yeah, let's look over here.
All right, Matt, while they're down, and yep, little buttons down. This is another. So on your nail, Cora and I continue to use our wooden supers that we have drawn comb for. They dimensionally fit these boxes. This has a metal queen excluder on it. The only thing that changes is you don't have the ability to latch this. Now, we carry these extra latches in kits too. You could latch plastic to wood, wood to wood, lead to wood. So, you know, if you're that person that wants to put that extra time in, or you're like Cora and I, and it gets the old cinder block on top. This particular hive, better hit them with a little smoke, is chock full of bees. Now, what I did with it, they needed a super, and I didn't have another shallow ready, but I had a brand new mid
You got frames over here.
ready, and I did put it under the super they had ready.
These ones are bearding.
Yep. So now these bees are still, this is what they look like when they're undisturbed and working frames. That's what they look like when they're drawing comb, capping comb, protecting honey. So what we want to do, I think, is I'm going to just break this super and look, and we'll see what they've done with this medium below.
Because really the medium was put on there last.
The medium was added
Or he might want to put that super on that.
last. And it almost looks like they're just using it for a go-between. I don't see that
I
they've
don't
done
see
a
anything in
thing. So,
Too late.
once again, added too late, and they just went ahead and chose to focus on the super above.
Just didn't have enough.
Run out of the go juice, but they've got volume control, And then they pull in here at night, they all pull in there. And what will happen is when we harvest this super honey off the top of them, we will remove that mid, and really and truly it'll just be seasoned for next year's bees. All right, we want to check this. This particular hive is leaking out the back. This is, Cora and I changed their bottom box because it was in such bad shape. You could stick your hand through the bottom board. So new bottom board, new box, and then look what happens. A little corner right on the medium. They chew through. Bam! Instant back door. This box, Cora, tends to run a little bit on the angry side.
Want me to smoke or get into them?
You're always up for a fight, aren't you? Huh?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, like I said, here's the problem with this colony of bees. They had a super that had about half honey started when they decided to swarm. And I would say they haven't recuperated, number one, numbers. Number two, now they've got caught without a nectar flow, but they have gone to work.
They've drawn it, huh?
Now, I would say that the honey, I looked at it. It had about a half a box before the swarm. This is what happens when they get away from you and swarm, and you've already started honey. A lot of that honey, it just goes with them when they leave. So, you know, in reality, this one knocked us out of a box of honey. There's a drone that come up from.
Oh, wow.
I don't know where he actually flew in from. He shouldn't have been in that honey super above that queen.
Kill that bug. Kill that bug.
What kind of gross bug is that?
In that one. Ugh.
All right, Cora, there's our honey crop here. Didn't quite go like we really and truly wanted to see it go, did it? What are you gonna do about it?
Look at Cora blocking those bees from going in the back door.
Step out of the runway here. There's where them drones come from. Look at that. Look, see them?
Yeah.
Huh?
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another reproduction of the swarming that this one did late.
Missed one of them.
Yeah. The reality of this is you and I'd probably better break this hive down soon and check, make sure we've got some workforce in production.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, you've seen a check on what Cora and I've got going. We've got some beautiful honey coming on. We've got some boxes that just didn't do to suit us, but hey, it's all right. We're still having fun out here, and we're gonna make enough honey. Ain't nobody gonna complain about it. We appreciate y'all watching. Until we see you again.
Roll
that beautiful bee footage.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.